You are watching CIOTV by Enterprise IT World, a production of Accent Infomedia.
I will say WBD is the first mechanism they should focus on. And I know every industry may not be able to adopt that, but as much as possible, if the companies can think about it and make use of that, so it's a good technology.
In conference rooms, classrooms, smart homes, and places that are home to power, our products help people connect, communicate, and collaborate. Master a meeting, an opportunity, a moment. And while sometimes our solutions do nothing more than advance the proper mood, more often, they move companies, communities, and even humanity forward. And it's that innovation that fuels us. We are Crestron. Innovation fuels us.
Hello and good morning. You are watching CIOTV.live. In the series of interviews, we are trying to understand perspectives of CIOs and IT leaders on various technologies and their strategies. Today, our guest is Mr. Gatishwar Malvadkar, Senior General Manager, IT Persistent Systems Limited. Mr. Gatishwar, welcome to you and thank you very much for taking time out and speaking to CIOTV.
Thanks, Enterprise IT World, for giving me opportunity to express my views. And nice talking to all of you guys.
Omicron is another variant which has already surfaced. Numbers are growing everywhere, including India. What is your preparedness? You might be going hybrid in terms of works. What is your preparedness for that? Do you have any ideas to encounter the eventualities?
See, the Omicron is like a next variant. We all know the preparedness from the IT standpoint or IT services point of view. We are working from last 2 years almost right now, and every day we are trying to mature our solutions, mature our methods, mature our processes, which will fulfill the requirement of home enablement. And many of cases, what is happening right now is people are the way we are saying hybrid, but still many of the part of the ITs are working from home. And we have to enable our services which are home friendly. So when I say home friendly, that means asset preparation, asset allocation, asset delivery of the assets, right? So we are working on multiple angles to it and multiple methods to it to make our user interface or employee interface rather than user interface, employee interface so easy and quick, so that on day one or max day two, our engineers are equipped enough to work. At least they can start working. They may not be 100% enabled, but still they can start working on day one or day two from their home devices or home equipments, and reduce the as much as possible reduce the business impact. In today's world, the major challenge for every industry is not for IT, but it is for every industry, how to get the work done, how to process the work without delays, how to reduce the impacts of different environmental factors, right? And to avoid that, we are working on many automation frameworks, many security frameworks, so that our employees are well equipped on day one or day two after joining. And the existing users also, or existing employees also, they are well aware how to handle, how to work, where to connect, how to connect. So those kind of automations we are implementing right now. This time we are well prepared because we have passed almost like a 1 year or 2 years time frame. So we have equipped multiple solutions. One, the asset stock. So we have a well sufficient count of assets readily available in our multiple offices. It's not at one location. And we have made the provision of those assets in a such a way that in a short notice, we can deliver the assets from any of this location to any of the home of the employees, and we have tie up with the different logistic teams so that we can deliver those assets. That is one. Second, we also equipped people with the virtual desktops, or we can say WVD, or smart places, smart workspaces, right? Where employees can use their own devices, personal devices, but same time, and connect to the virtual desktops or virtual devices. Same time, there is no security compromise, there is no security threat because of using the personal devices. We have equipped such a technology which can enable the access to the desktop, but without compromising any of the security threats. That way, we have done the provisioning. That's the second part. Third part, many of the services what we have as a production services, we already migrated, or we are in a migration phase from on-prem to the cloud. So take example, Exchange, we already migrated to O365. The Skype, we already migrated to the Teams. And along with the one technology of this, we have equipped the backup or a BCP for that. Like Teams has a problem, so we have sufficient amount accounts of Zoom in place, so that in case of crisis of MS Teams, at least the leadership team will get equipped with the Zoom as a backup, right? Same time, we are using many of the other technologies where we can pass the messages, pass the communication to the employees in different means, right? And without compromising on the security and the threat to the IP, intellectual property, we are using those techniques and technologies. We are making people aware for any threats, any spams, any trojans which are going to cause, because people are working from home now, and home equipments, home routers are not that sophisticated, which can protect all the zero-day vulnerabilities. So we are making people aware so that they will not access the sites, or if there is a pop-up coming up from our endpoint protection tools, the people will still not continue using those sites. People are aware how to detect a spam, how to detect a Trojan, how to detect a theft, or a honeypot kind of an email which is coming to the people, right? So we are training them regularly by different means, and we are making sure that ISMS standards and policies and trainings are being followed by our employees regularly. We are also conducting the phishing, internal phishing awareness and phishing detection for the users, so that people are aware how to detect a phishing email, where are the loopholes a person should be able to identify, and then take a right decision whether to open the email, not to open the email, or how to understand it's a trap. So those kind of trainings also we are conducting for all the employees. So these are the different mechanisms we are trying to in place. One solution is not going to solve your BCP. So we are adopting multiple things to mitigate the BCP and a DR in case of crisis of anything. Because this pandemic is no one predicted in the past. It's completely a new way of environmental impact to the IT industry, or rather IT industry, for every industry. So one solution cannot solve this impact. We have to have a multiple solution in place. If one doesn't work, second has to work. If second doesn't work, the third has to work. So that way we are building that BCP for the pandemic situation.
How internally you are making yourself, your organization smart, utilizing the technology, and how are you optimizing your workflow and processes?
So see, we are a service industry. Right. We are providing services to our customers. So we, as a service provider, I believe all the service provider has to think 3 or 4 steps ahead of the customer. Then only they can make the customer work better, work optimized, and efficiently their productivity is increased. Right? If service provider don't think about 4 steps ahead of the customer, they will not be able to give that kind of delightness to the customer. So as a service industry, we are adopting the latest and greatest technology which is available from the OEM. So be it Microsoft, be it VMware, be it Commvault, any of the service OEM products, we are trying to use the latest and greatest technology from those well-known OEMs. Parallelly, as a persistent or as a product company, we are also a product enhancement company. So we are utilizing some of the workflows to optimize those OEM products and make it available or make it user friendly to our customer demand, right? So our asset preparation mechanism, we are already adopting the latest technology from Microsoft, which is Autopilot, where a laptop can be delivered to home from the OEM directly and hooked up to the enterprise world on the internet. So there's no need asset to come to the office, get prepared, and again delivered to the destination of the employee. So it's just an example I've given. But there are multiple things we are optimizing. We are migrating peers, our technology, our solution stack to the SaaS model, so that it is available on the internet with the protected way and secured way. Right. So that way we are internally making the process change. With the traditionally, it is like 3 or 4 people used to approve any of the purchase order or something. We are trying to see how we can optimize that, how we can quickly and optimized way we can approve those workflows, right? So as a CI organization, we are working with different support systems and the delivery system to see where we have to change with the work style change, right? Like previously it was like us go to the system and then approve. We are trying to see now what are the ways we can do it faster. Like, can we develop a mobile app for the approval process? Can we do the approval process over the email with the protected way, without compromising, without impacting to the threads, right? How we can do that? So that's a focus we are doing internally, both ways, technology stack wise and process wise. We're trying to optimize that.
All right.
In conference rooms, classrooms, smart homes, and places that are home to power, our products help people connect, communicate, and collaborate. Master a meeting, an opportunity, a moment. And while sometimes our solutions do nothing more than advance the proper mood, more often, they move companies, communities, and even humanity forward. And it's that innovation that fuels us. We are Crestron. We've defined and redefined the best in room automation, smart home systems, content distribution, and video conferencing technology. We never stop pushing further, creating solutions that exceed expectations, defy limitations, relentlessly committed to research and development. The result? Leading-edge products, built in factories of the future, equipped with quality assurance that replicates years of service in the service of peace of mind. What can't be replicated? The ingenuity of design teams creating solutions for customers long before a sale, and support that continues for decades afterwards. Training, education. We push these too, partnering with the industry's most ambitious professionals at Crestron Masters, so they, like us, are fueled by all the things innovation will help them do. Crestron. Innovation fuels us.
Newer technologies are influencing the industry, cutting across the verticals like AR, VR, artificial intelligence, analytics, big data also.
Right.
Must be using it. How are you utilizing these technologies?
See, major focus right now, or major challenge, I will say, with the pandemic is basically the collaboration. See, you can, there's a less challenge for migration of on-prem infrastructure to the cloud infrastructure, but the major focus is on how the employees can collaborate with each other, how employees can collaborate with the customers, right? And because we are not physically in front of each other, the gesture, the body language, the body expressions, right, are really causing an impact to the communication.
Correct.
And we are trying to use AR, VR with the AI in such a way that this barrier of physical appearance, a barrier of gesture expressions, right, or body language expressions, how we can optimize that, how we can make that feel like as if the person is in front of you, right? So our major focusing happening on the collaboration platform, a collaboration solution which can remove these barriers, right? So that's the focus we are trying to do and utilize this AR, VR kind of technology. And same time, we are trying to use AI to figure out the gaps, figure out the optimization in a process, right? What is liking for X person versus Y person versus Z person, and how we can bring that all requirements together and optimize our solution stack, right? So we are developing a solution which is AI enabled, which can help person to detect and protect faster, right? So that way we are trying to utilize the latest technology in optimizing the business collaboration, employee collaboration, communication, right? And make the people feel like as if they're in front of. That there's no change before pandemic, talking to each other and face to face, versus after pandemic, talking virtually face to face. Right? See, today, if you look at Zoom, you or me and talking on a Zoom video camera, but still we are missing that gesture. We are missing that hand actions. We are missing that expressions, right? Right? Because we don't have a flexibility to move around.
Right, absolutely.
Right? But this AR VR will help that. So metaverse, what we talked about at Facebook, why they are coming with the this? Because they realize this as a barrier. And they are now trying to force people like, hey, no need to, you can stay anywhere, but you're still, a body will appear in front of the other person. Right? So your gesture, your body language will still be communicating to the person, but physically you are not there. So same technology we are trying to implement in our internal company, or make that technology first internally cooked, used, and same time available for the customer. Right? So we strongly believe on eat your own cookies and then give it to the market.
All right. As a company, you are heavily into cloud, private and hybrid cloud. How has been your experience with the cloud? Have you experienced badly in terms of any migration from one point to another point, on one cloud to another client? Can you just elaborate a little bit on that?
See, any change comes with the difficulties.
Okay.
And the most difficult part in a change is a mindset change. Technology, you can develop. Technology, you can find a solution for it. Mindset change is the biggest thing, where none of the technologies or none of the technology changes directly impacts. So the first and most critical part for migrating from on-prem to the cloud is a mindset change. And the scariness of unknown. Right? See, today, rather than losing, I will say, people believe when they see it. People believe when they continuously see in front of them. In cloud era, you're still not aware of the base infrastructure. Still, you're not aware of how physically it is protected. All that these are perceptions, or I will say that hey, somebody will enter into my database. No, but if you are protected such a way, then it will, no one can tamper it, right? So that's the change of mindset was the first difficult part for going from on-prem to the cloud. That is one. And as we overcome that challenge, right? And many times the optimization and flexibility what we are trying to get from the cloud has suppressed all these challenges. But many times it again pops up some corner of the discussion, and again we have to prove that. So that is the first impact we had. Second, the on-prem infrastructure was running on a device which can shoot up suddenly, or suddenly we demand required, we can buy or we can increase the capacity or resources. But in cloud era, as you increase, you start paying it, right? So that's a cost optimized way and predictive way we have to work. That change is also important. Like how it is working in on-prem versus how it is going to work in cloud, there's a change. There's a adoption of technology change we have to do. The method which we are developing on-prem versus method which we should develop in cloud, right, to optimize the cost, that change is very much important. You cannot just copy paste from the on-prem and put it on the cloud and start working. Then your solution is way costly. But versus the services, the microservices which are not available in the on-prem. But if you optimize the same stack and redevelop the application from scratch using the cloud technologies, cloud methodologies, your cost is much optimized and cheaper or at equal to your on-prem. Otherwise, people will see that cloud is a devil. Right? So that first and fundamental rule I will suggest to everyone is don't try to do cut and copy from on-prem to cloud. Utilize the different ways of different mechanisms of development of cloud technology and then migrate your solution to the cloud. Then your cost will be same as or equal to your on-prem and with flexibility.
So as you were saying, I can make out that if you do not have requirement of, say, additional applications or microservices to develop, they should not take attempt in for the sake of only cutting cost. So cost is not that advantageous in cloud. You need to have, cloud gives you a flexibility where you can develop at the same cost. You can add in more services, microservices.
Yes.
Which you are not able to do if you are on-prem.
Right. And one more factor too is on-prem, if you're developing in-house, you may not have 100% expertise in all the areas. But when you go to the cloud and start using those microservices developed by OEM or any other third party inside the cloud, you get an optimized solution.
So templates are available. Yes.
Templates are available. The final code, which is tested and proven, which will be available, right? You get a quicker and a strong support, a skilled support in the cloud, right? So that way we have to look at it.
Turnaround time is very less also. So you want to launch into the market, say 1 month's time, you get the templates and do a little bit of jiggling either here and there and put it into application and give it to the market. That
exactly. That is one. Second, flexibility to make the changes. In on-prem view, if you want to make any changes, you have to see for the capacity, you have to see for the other aspects of the resources and the downtime, the window of flipper, all that comes in the picture. But same time, if you go to the cloud, all those resources are available on a click of button, right? And if we want to develop something, you can develop immediately on the parallel ground and switch over the services from the A to B. But if same thing, if you try to do it on-prem, you have to invest, you have to build that infrastructure if you are already not build it, right? And that change will take time. As compared to cloud, you can immediately set up a second data center, you develop everything, and then just to change the pointer from A to B. So till the time B is getting developed and cooked and proven, your A serves the purpose. And then as soon as B is ready, you just change the pointer. Same thing, if you want to do it on-prem, you have to do an investment.
So it means real innovation can happen in cloud than on-prem. On-prem, of course, it will take, it can make innovation, but then it takes time, money, and resources also.
See, today's era, if you look at the generation which we are is a N minus, I can say. The latest and current generation thought process, if you look at, everyone is expecting everything to be on a fingertips.
Yeah, on a tap.
No one, on a tap, right? And no one is ready to have a time to develop and use. People, like today's generation, if you'll talk about, they are looking for everything like, yes, today I thought about it, tomorrow I should use it.
Exactly.
Right? So with that logic, this cloud and cloud technologies and everything will help them to trial and error more. See, I can give an example. In old days, the Kodak reel cameras, to take a photo, they have to waste like number of photos, number of reels to take a good shot. But today, people are really crazy. They take, okay, hey, this is not a good photo. Just hold on. I will take another photo. Right? So with this change in this thought process, people want to try more. People want to attempt more, fail fast, learn fast. This is the mechanism people are, this generation is.
Yeah, not scared of failing.
They are not scared. They want to fail more so that they can develop faster. Right? That's the era of today's generation.
Right.
They believe on failures.
Right.
And they believe on faster failure so that they can learn faster.
Mm.
Right?
Yeah,
So
got
that's
it.
the area. Then cloud is the only solution for that.
Correct, correct, correct. You can immediately, I mean, you do it immediately, manifest it, start selling. I mean, if it is business organization or if it is something marketing or something, immediately you can showcase to the entire world. Pull the data. It happens on the tap of a finger.
Right.
All right then. So the other one is the cyber security, which is evolving every day, every moment, because the hackers or the sophistication is coming into cyber crime and the ransomwares or any sort of cyber security. How are you focusing it? What is the mechanism? How often you are creating awareness among the employees? What is the process?
So there are three things we are trying to do. One is the protection. So we are using multiple layers and multiple solutions to protect it. That's a protection. Second, and most critical part, I can say, the awareness to the employees, awareness to the customer, right? The source of threats, a source of getting impacted is a people. And people make a mistake, hence the hacker can go inside the system. Okay, so that's the awareness part we are focusing on. And the third and the fourth, which is very important right now in today's world, is how do you come back to a normal? See, you cannot 100% protect from getting impacted, right? So let's develop a mechanism by which at least you can come to a normal state quicker, which is called cyber resiliency, right? So you have a backup mechanism, you have a DR mechanism, but is your current backup mechanism sufficient enough for you to tell, hey, your last 1 month backup is compromise mode, and prior to 1 month was a backup which was non-compromise mode, right? And with that logic, now your RTO RPO is X, because traditional DRBCP RTO RPO no more valid in today's pandemic or today's ransomware. Every day the different variants of ransomware are getting detected. Your traditional RTO RPO is no more valid. You have to develop a mechanism to protect and detect your backups which are non-compromised. And based on that, you have to understand the business impact. So simple example, last traditional way of mechanism used to say 1 day data loss is accepted for me, right? I can go to 1 day prior backup and restore and still my business can be up. But today, your 1 day backup, if it is compromised, that logic is no more valid. You have to come back to a mechanism where two things. One, to find out what is the last good backup which is non-compromised, and then your RTO RPO will fall into place, right? So the last time you said 1 day prior is good, today 3 days prior data is non-compromised, but is that good for business? Right? That every CIO or CISO has to understand. And that's a mechanism we are trying to build and develop and implement, where how quickly and without compromise I can find out which is my backup good. That is one. Second, can I correct my compromised backup in the image itself? Before that image gets restored, can I clean that? Can I detect the Trojans, malwares, ransomware inside that backup image and clean it and then restore it? Right? So these are the two things we are working on, or we are looking for from the cyber security point of view, or three things I can say. And I will request everybody to focus on cyber resiliency, because that's an era. Protection is not at all 100% protected. Awareness, 80, 90, 95% you can make people aware. But as a human person, a trained guy also can miss out something. It's a human nature. It's psychology of a person, right? Some of the steps he person may get missed out in detecting the phishing mail or something, But the last part, which is cyber resiliency and air gap mechanism, is the right way to at least become some level of predictable and some level of productivity loss. We can get it upfront from the backups and from the backup compromised mechanism. So these are the three things we are trying to do in a cyber security or a security framework and protect our business. Or at least rather than protect our business, I can say periodically we can give that update to the management. Hey, today we are at this RTO or RPO, or today we are reducing this RTO RPO from this 4 days to 1 day, because now we have developed such a thing which will reduce this time. So that way we can keep our management updated and aware to what is the posture of your security. And that is very much important for any board to plan their business.
So the other thing is that the management becoming aware and management becoming more concerned about IT. So earlier what used to happen, management was looking at their business only and their marketing only, two things. IT was a second tier or second class citizen within the organization. I think that is gradually changing. How do you see yourself from your experience? I mean, you can also see, you can say from your experience within the organization outside also, that the CFOs or MDs, those who are sitting, taking management in the board, they have understood that the IT is on the front these days. IT is driving the business. Of course, the manifestation is something else. The sales is bringing everything, or the marketing is doing everything. But the enablement of the marketing and sales is happening from the IT, plus other, running of the entire business. How serious the management is about the IT?
I will say you use the right word, which is called enabler. IT is alone cannot do many things for the business. So but same time, IT is a very critical piece in the business or for any organization. Without that, other functions cannot work, right? So I will say IT is not a support system, or IT is not a business development system, but IT is an enabler function, and every organization requires a strong IT enabler function, right? And every system or every department of the enterprise should treat IT as a good partner in a business, or a good enabler for their function to be successful, right? And that respect and collaboration has to be there, rather than treating them as one of the support system, right? So that way management is focusing on the IT functions. Management is focusing on, or very much concerned about, what IT is bringing the change in the system, right? This all AR, VR, AI functions, what is getting developed by the product companies, and IT is making those products available for the different departments of the company, right? Is very much important. And management wants to see how the productivity of my sales department, marketing department, or development department, right? How this IT bringing this latest technology is going to help them. So simple example, how the collaboration is nowadays in a hybrid world is having impact to delivery, right? How IT is making sure that the latest technology of AR, VR, metaverse, they are incorporating into art collaboration tool, so that it will impact, or it will improve the productivity of the delivery team, right? Same time, today marketing team or sales team cannot go door to door, face to face, and do the business. In that case, how IT is going to equip those people to virtually available in front of the customer, and make that experience so sophisticated that they will not feel that, hey, pandemic or hybrid working is killing my business, right? So in my view and my experience, as of now, I can say with 23 or 24 years of experience in IT, this game is getting changed. Many of the managements are really worried about IT, and they are asking IT to come on the board and present. Previously, either that presentations Some of the organizations used to fold through CFOs. But now, if you look at many of the organizations are changing that org structure itself, where IT is reporting to CFO, they're trying to see how IT can report into CEO or a COO. And they are giving enough time for IT people like CIO, CISOs to make the presentation in the board. And if any organization or any board is not doing that effort, my sincere request to that board member is please spend time with IT. Without spending time with IT, you will not be able to plan your business growth properly. So IT is very important into any industry to make the game change. So that would be my suggestion to everyone.
Excellent, and kudos to this suggestion.
Thanks.
Okay. What is your plan for 2022? And if you can suggest some of the top technologies that the CIOs or the people in your peer group should take note of for the year.
See, today, if you ask me, our major focus is how we can enable our employees quicker, faster, and efficient. These are the three things we are trying to do. One, quicker in the sense they are productive from the day one, day two, the way I talked in a few minutes back. So we are focusing on the technologies which can make that happen. That is one. Second, their collaboration, communication, and the barrier of working from home and not physically in front of, how we can mitigate that. Because some of the steps we already implemented, but more enhancement we are trying to do in next 1 year, where we are trying to use the latest technology of Microsoft, Polycom, or any other which is available in the market. We are trying to explore that. And we are seeing that the customer experience and the employee experience is much delighted, and they will not feel these as a barrier. Working from is not a barrier, right? Or working from anywhere is not a barrier. So that's the second part we are trying to do. Third thing is the way just a few minutes back I said, protection, awareness, and the cyber resiliency, quicker restore. We are going to focus on those parts. We are going to educate people not to keep anything into the laptop, not to keep anything onto the WWD, but use mechanism of central storage, use mechanism of central cloud storage, so that your data is protected at any given point of time, right? And available offline wherever you want, right? And third thing is that data is cleanly stored on the cloud and cleanly restorable, right? That is the. And fourth one, we are trying to focus on the classification of data. See, today's the data is getting increased day by day, and you cannot stop for it. The only thing is, if you classify data and then focus on which data to be protected, which data to be not to protected, which data should be protected and restorable from the user point of view, but which data should be protected for the legitimate and legal point of view, that classification will help to protect and preserve the copies of data, which will help to mitigate the legal and other challenges which any enterprise may face during this pandemic or during this hybrid work culture, right? So these are the ways we are trying to develop the solution. Today, we are exploring all the solution which are available in the horizon as the latest solution. So I cannot comment on X or Y solution available and we are focusing on, but these are the themes we are driving, and then we'll explore the solution which are available in the market. If the solutions are not available in the market, we'll try to develop it from our delivery team and then implement in our organization.
Yeah, final line on 4-5 top technologies that the peer group should be focusing on.
I will say WWD is the first mechanism they should focus on. And I know every industry may not be able to adopt that, but as much as possible, if the companies can think about it and make use of that, so it's a good technology. That is one. Second, the cyber resiliency part, which I talked about. Use the right solution of cyber resiliency, which is good for your organization, your mechanism, or your infrastructure, but make that enabled, because that is going to be protect, and rather than protect, that is going to save you from the a larger downtimes. Okay, so that is second technology I will suggest for everyone to focus on. And third is the awareness. Every day there are different honeypots are getting created to capture the employees. There are different mechanisms are getting created for the employees, and we are seeing such a large people who are educated, sophisticated, or aware of all this, but still they are being trapped with these honey traps, right? So regular, consistently educating our employees with the different mechanisms which are getting used by these honeypots and hackers, I think that is the way we can protect our business.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Gatishwar, for taking time out and speaking. CIOTV.live. Beg your pardon. Thank you.
Thanks for Enterprise IT World and CIOTV Live for giving me opportunity to express my views and my suggestions. I hope those whatever I have shared is my own personal views. No one attached strings to that, and these are my own personal suggestions, recommendations to all of you guys. So take this forward and protect your enterprise. Thanks for your time.
Thank you, Gatishwar. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Gatishwar Malvadkar, Senior General Manager, Persistent Systems. If you have any question or query, please drop your mail in the ID given here. Thank you very much.